Hey everybody, this is Sunny Combs of Parenting on Mission and my lovely husband Oscar Combs.
Hey guys.
And we are here with our third episode out of 6, and today we're talking about respect.
Respect.
Put some respect on it.
Respect my name.
Put some respect on my name. So, Oscar, what is respect?
You know, when I think about respect, and I like to go to definitions, it's just a positive feeling that you have towards someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone that you feel is important, somebody that you hold at high esteem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that's basically important to you. So sometimes when I think about people that I respect, I kind of like start off with God.
Mm-hmm.
Like I respect God first, and then I respect myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I respect you.
Thank you.
Right? That's important. And then our children and our family members and our friends and our co-workers and just, authority figures. No matter how old you get, there's always an authority figure that you have to respect. So I think that's important. So that's what respect is kind of all about.
So when I think of respect and children, I'm thinking about, and then this may seem old school to some people because I see it kind of dying, but that yes ma'am and no ma'am, you know what I'm saying? And yes sir, no sir, that reverence, that I believe wholeheartedly that our children need to understand that level between where the parents, yes, we laugh and have fun and play games and do all of those things, but I'm still your mama. You're still their dad, know? So that level of respect. I also think there's respect in our sacrifice, It's treating people, yes, it's treating people the way that we want to be treated, of course.
But when you think that saying yes ma'am or yes sir to your parent is become old school?
I don't think it's old school.
No.
But I think that, working in a school setting, you see it dying,
Really?
Yeah, you really, really do. I mean, there are times that we've been, now that we're in this virtual world,
right, that,
a kid has come in asking for help and, baby, you have your computer? Yeah.
Right.
And just something inside you just kind of turn like, hey. But they know, the thing is they know the difference because I'll say, excuse me? Oh, yes, ma'am. So they know, but I don't know if it's not reinforced at home, it's not required. I'm not sure what it is, but I see that it's dying. And I feel that there's a level for adults and the elderly, there's a level of respect that should be there always.
Right.
Sometimes we, doing in the hustle and bustle of life, we forget about those fundamental things. And I guess that's what we talk about, about the core values.
Right.
Fundamentally, that is what we've instilled in our children.
Well, hey guys, in my opinion, it should never be old school for our children to address us or say things like yes sir, yes ma'am. That's not old school, and that needs to be new school.
And I think that's something that we all not be new.
Right, yeah.
That's
don't
something
need to go away.
Exactly, because then when you see us going away, deviating from some of those things, I think we're also seeing some of the other issues, the societal issues that come along with it.
For sure.
Right, but I think also, even things that I remember when our kids were younger, I would cook dinner. Now it's just the norm for them, but you would say, well, tell your mama thank you for cooking dinner.
Oh no, you're supposed to cook dinner.
Yeah, like
that's your job.
The devil is a lie. That's something I do. That's just, you've taught them that, but even now they say thank you for dinner, it was good, or thank you when we go buy them things, because I think that level, although when they were growing, we weren't thinking about, we don't want to raise entitled children. Right. It was just being appreciative and respecting the sacrifice that we make as their parents. Because we can give them some peanut butter and jelly,
PB&J,
but we choose to cook a hot, healthy meal for them.
Healthy meal.
So I think that is one of the things that for them and for that I appreciate, that I don't mind coming home from work doing. Not only is it good for them and for my family because I love you guys, but most importantly because it teaches, they learn to respect and appreciate what, I do.
Right. Well, and you have to teach the children this.
Exactly.
And that's what sometimes I think we forget as parents sometimes, is that's what parenting is that we're teaching our children these things. And if you think about the things that you know to do, or that we know to do in our generation, it was taught to us. It was handed down to us by our parents, by our grandparents, right?
Right.
And now sometimes you don't see that level of interaction with the children in regards to taking that time to really teach them these principles that were handed down to us. That's how I know about respect. It's because, for one, it was demanded of my parents.
That's true.
For me to respect them. And I couldn't go and disrespect other adults. I had to respect our neighbors. You remember back in the day, neighbor could give you a spanking if they felt like they needed to.
You better ask somebody
or
about
talk to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we have to teach our children this respect and really understanding that when we're teaching our children, we're really teaching them how to interact with other people. So, but it starts with us, right? They can't disrespect people in their household
who take care of
them, and then expect for them to go to school or go to work or wherever, or encounter a police officer
or respect
God.
They ain't never seen before.
They're not going to do that unless we model that, right? That's one of the things that we said before. We got to model these behaviors that we want, right? And if you think about it, as parents, we are the first authority figures in our children's lives, right? When it's us and everybody else when they're born, right? When we tell them something, they listen. When we ask them to do something, they do that. I remember one time with one of our children. I'm not going to call his name.
Please don't.
But man, he had a little stubborn streak in him, right? And this was at maybe 2 years old.
Was he 2?
I think he was 2, I believe. We were sitting down watching TV, and he decides that I'll tell him to sit down, and he got the nerve to look at me like I was short. What Bernie Mac said, look at me like I was short. Look back at me, girl. He put his hand on his hip and looked back at me.
My baby had his hand on his hip. He
had on his thigh.
Not his hip.
I said, hey man, I'm not going to call his name. He know who he is, but I'm not going to put him out there like that. I said, hey man, sit down. So he looked at me again and he got up. And I said, Sonny,
look at this boy.
Look at this boy. And this at 2 years old, right? It just kind of shows you that children are sometimes born to want to do things their own way. We all are.
Right.
We all are, right?
Yeah.
But it was that moment that I realized
it was a pivotal moment.
I had to address this issue. So I got up and I sat him down.
And sit down.
He got up again. I said, son, look at this.
No, you said boo.
This about to get serious.
And I looked to the side, I was like, oh, I can't help you, boo.
So, the point is he sat down.
Yeah, but the thing is that, and I think that to avoid, you don't want your children to, it's a fine line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm doing my stuff out of love.
Right. It's a fine line. I think, and sometimes when you were just asking me where you think it's old, I think that a lot of us have had bad experiences with adults in our lives as children. And then we don't teach our kids that because we don't want them to, they don't have to respect everybody. Everybody doesn't, deserve respect. Or we take our past experiences and transfer it over to our children. But that's, the thing is, you have to think of the consequence in that. So that was your experience. That's not your child's experience. Ultimately, you want your children to be respectful.
To be respectful. What is wrong with that?
Right. It's nothing absolutely wrong with your child being respectful. Yes, I had this bad experience with adults because all adults are not right and all children are not right. None of us are perfect. But the point is, generally, on GP, you are respectful to an adult. If adult is disrespectful towards you or is harmful towards you, then that's what you have your daddy and I for.
Yeah, that's what we always tell our children. Let us deal with that.
Right. Not you as a child address another adult because they were disrespectful, or you get to rolling your eyes, or I've seen videos where kids are cursing other adults.
Right. Cursing, fighting.
I mean, right. Throwing hands.
Yeah, they're throwing them hands.
But that's what... Now, I wouldn't throw no hands. Not me.
What does it say? Try Jesus.
But don't try God. Don't try me, because I fight. No, but it's just, that's when I won't put my child in a position to be disrespectful.
Right.
As an adult to an adult, I'll handle your issues, and they trust us to know. Now, I'm not gonna handle your issue if you're out there, you clowning and acting a clown. Then don't do that. Now, come and be honest with us. And then we'll make sure at that point talk to another adult. But that disrespectful, I know that people are wrong, guys. And I'm saying this, I guess, so much because even in the school system, it hurts your kid when they're disrespectful to the teacher. Mm-hmm. It hurts them. They're not getting what they need, that education. Right. If an adult is disrespectful, you come let mama or daddy, or let me know. We'll take care of it.
Well, that's a school perspective, but I mean... we all want our children to be successful, have some kind of a career.
True that.
Maybe even a business.
Because it carries over.
Mm-hmm. So if you can't respect your parents, then you can't respect your teacher. Mm-hmm. How will you respect your supervisor? Or if you own a company, how will you respect your client, your customers, right?
Right.
Like I own my company.
Yeah.
Right? And I have to respect my clients. Like there's gonna always be a level of authority, as we grow and develop through our lives. That's true. Initially our children give us their respect without us really having to earn it. Mm-hmm. Right? Like when they're born, you really don't have to earn that respect. Like they really don't have a choice in regards to that matter.
Right.
But as they get older, what we see is if our children start to lose that respect, like you start on, let's say, level 5, 100% of respect, right? But you can lose your children's respect, right? You can lose it through our actions.
And lose it like that.
And we can lose it through not respecting them, mm-hmm. right? Even though that they are a child and we are the adult, right? We're still trying to model the main point that just as a human being, every human being deserves respect, right? Regardless if they are a little human being, mm-hmm. or a big human being. We all deserve respect. That's what we're trying to teach.
But I think sometimes as parents, we think of our children as these little people forever, but eventually they grow up to be adults.
Right.
How many times you're going to work for somebody who might disrespect you, or a client who may disrespect you? So do you just sever their relationship like that? No, you don't. Because you still got to eat. Because the Bible said, man, don't work, don't eat.
Don't eat.
So, I mean, the thing is that you still, so when you're telling them, you don't have to respect that person, just remember, sometimes we're preparing them for failure in life, because of those core values have cracks in them.
Right.
And we don't want that. But what about respecting I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just want to turn to the Bible a little bit. It says in Ephesians 6, verse 1, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for it is right.
It's the right thing to do.
I mean, come on, guys. Respect is right. It's right. It's no debating about it. It's the right thing to do. Obeying your parents is the right thing to do. It says, honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise. Our children must learn to honor their father and their mother first. You cannot honor God without being able to honor your father and your mother, right? Like you say, you haven't seen God, right? But we are teaching our children about honoring their authority figures,
Right.
their mother, their father. Then when they start along their spiritual journey, then they're able to relate to that relationship that they have with their parents to their heavenly Father, and learn to respect him as
That's
well.
true.
And then the verse 3 says, so that it may be well with you, that you may live long on the earth, so that it may be well with you and you live long on the earth. If we want our children to be well, we want them to have a long life, we have to teach them the very important principle and value of respect and honor. And it starts, as we just read in the Bible, with your parents, your mother and your father.
Verse 2 said it was because it says with a promise.
Yeah.
So that's a promise. Your life, I'm somebody's mama. I'm not gonna mention nobody's name, but my mama would tell me get your years cut short with attitude like that. And I was like, that early, But for her, that was her. I guess that was her cue for me to say, hey, you better snap that attitude together real quick.
Right.
But in my heart, in my mind, it quickly, even to this day, at the age of, how am I, 30, 25, 30, 31, 32, somewhere around there.
Being respectful.
Somewhere around there. That, that you have that is something, respecting my parents, respecting, elderly, but most importantly, Oscar, respect yourself.
Oh, man. That's so important. Respect yourself. There's so many people don't really have that self-respect, right? You know why they don't have the self-respect? Because they were never taught to respect others.
Right.
Right? Respecting your mother and your father. It literally starts right there, guys. And then maybe they have siblings. Then that's the next level of respect. Because we started teaching our children very young, once we had the second one and then the third one, right? That, hey, that's your brother. That's your sister.
Yeah.
You respect your sister. You respect your brother. All this fussing and fighting, and no, there's nobody more important in your life beyond God, your parents, your siblings. Would be the next level, right?
Yeah.
And then, all of your other family members and friends, then friends. Like, you don't get to respect and appreciate friends
before you respect your brother and sister.
And you up here disrespecting your brother and your sister and your parents.
That is so true, because it I can see, and when you, and I guess in education, when you see a kid come in your office and they sit with their parent and they're talking to, and the parent and they're talking to me, and they would go off, and I would have to, stop and say, who are you talking to like that?
Right.
Nobody. It's only 3 of us in here. Having that, but they would have more respect for me
you
than their parents. You only know me for 5-6 months.
They have more admiration for you than their parent. Now that's backwards.
And I don't take care of them.
Right.
But I think the thing is that as parents, we have to remember that our actions, we can tell our kids these things, but like, they don't come here having respect and appreciation. And so we have to teach them those things. They are not entitled to cell phones. They're not entitled to having the things that we provide for them, but we teach them to respect things.
Right.
They have, you know what? Look how she dressed. Or look where they live. Or what school do they go to? Or they have this title. Oh, that's so-and-so's child. So you're supposed to respect them, like putting other people, kids or other people on a higher, on this hierarchy. Then that's who you respect. And people here, you don't have to respect.
Yeah, the lowest, if there's such a thing, deserve respect.
What can I say? It's even in the church.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, if it's pastor's child, if it's the pastor, we respect them more than you respect your mom or your dad.
Oh, no.
Or this is a pastor's child, we respect their child more than you respect your brother or sister or your own family. You know, we have to be mindful of that, because God gave this family that you're born into,
your children.
These are your kids.
Right.
He gave them to you. He gave those children, this family, to you. Although we have our issues, because everybody got the issues.
Oh, yeah. No, no problems in their relationship. Everybody.
Although we have issues,
You
know, you still, that's a part of that. God gave all that to you. The good, bad, ugly, indifferent, and the wonderful.
Right.
He gave it to you. And we have to teach that to our children, but to respect themselves. I think sometimes, you know, parents, we talk, but sometimes we have to observe our children. Like on social media, you know, you want to know if your kids respect themselves, watch what things they post. You know, are they doing videos or TikTok so that other kids can like them? Or if they're coming home from school saying, Daddy, they don't want to be my friend no more. You know, because then the question should be, well, you have to, don't say, well, you ain't got to worry about, no, why is it so important for them to be your friend?
Right.
What's so important about them?
What are you getting out of this relationship with this individual? You know, they're getting maybe some attention, or maybe something that they're not getting at home, maybe, right? Right. Like it always starts at home, and when I see these things on social media, like on YouTube, or, oh my God, I see these pranks. For one, let's start with the pranks.
You can't stand it.
You know what I'm saying? These pranks where people are literally disrespecting people.
To get a like.
To get a like. Or you're about to hurt somebody, injure somebody, so you can get a like. Or you'll have these men, what do they call them? The gold digger pranks, where they are exposing women who like fancy cars, for example, and they go up and really, in my opinion, being very disrespectful to the female, but also the female is allowing themselves to be disrespected because they don't have the self-respect.
Well, because they've been taught to respect things. I want this purse. I want to live in this house. And these are things that we respect more so than what's on the inside.
Right.
Than your character. And, you know, and being, like, for example, we don't allow our children to have social media till they're 16. One of the main reasons is safety issues. Right. But another issue is that we did not want them to be influenced by everybody else, the outside world. Right. More so, because when you open them up to social media, in that instance, then you're opening them up to the outside world. Oh yeah. And they're gonna get exposed to that anyway, you know, with their friends. Now they may not have, you know, a couple of them don't have social media, but their friends show them videos, or their cousins or something like that, which is fine. But I don't want them, we do not want them to be so inundated in having likes and everybody else influencing them of what they should, how their body conscious is, and, you know, their bodies and what they should look like or what they should sound like, or those things. We didn't want that in their lives.
But that's where society, if we want to call it what it is, the devil.
What you call it?
The devil.
The devil.
Yeah. Hey, just like there is God.
You right?
There is the devil, and God does a great job, but the devil does a good job too. He was trained by God.
Well, God is always God is always doing His job, and Satan has the job too.
Well, what my point is that this social media, and when you do a post, what does it say? What's on your mind, right? Like, you know, what's on your mind, and then you feel like you have the right to say just whatever is on your mind. And when it comes to your parents, you do not have the right to just say whatever is on your mind. When it comes to your teacher, you do not have the right to just say whatever is on your mind. When it comes to your supervisor, your customer, if you own a business, you just can't say whatever is on your mind. You can't go around life, the world, and just saying whatever is on your mind.
Well, I think you can say it, but just know that the consequences come with it.
Oh, you can do it.
Right.
But again, the scripture says, if you want it to be well with you and you to have long life,
that's true.
These are the things. You cannot do these things. You cannot just do everything trying to get a like.
But that's that self-control thing. Because
Right.
in your mind, you might think, oh, you saying even in, you saying or you thinking these things, but you have to have enough control to know that's not wise.
Right. Yeah, it's not wise to just say whatever's on your mind.
Like, yeah.
Why would you want to do that?
Don't get
So what we're talking about is the issue of self-respect. And if we don't teach our children self-respect, what's going to happen is that you will have other individuals that will come into their lives and prey on them. Mm-hmm. And then they will take advantage of your children and take advantage of our children. And that's what we see sometimes. And it all starts with us teaching them self-respect. So,
and not only that, in respecting, I think going into our next segment is about respecting others.
Right.
Because when you can respect yourself, you're gonna respect others.
Right.
And because you're mirroring your reflection of your inward. Mm-hmm. So your outward reactions reflection of what's on the inside of you. Yeah. And so making sure that and we can't coexist in this world without us respecting each other. Right. If you look at the news, we've seen the news and all these things going on.
So sad.
And, it's disheartening because, this is what our kids have. And you teach your kids these fundamental principles at home. And then you look at the news and everybody else is like, oh, well, we'll make excuses for this,
Right.
So, I think those are the most important, just keeping those principles at home. And even when you see those things on television and out of the world, to remember to sit down and have those conversations. I know that's what they're saying, but that's wrong.
Right.
And wrong is wrong and right is right.
Hey, many times when we see stuff on the news or even on social media, to me, these are opportunities to teach.
Yep.
This is what not to do. Mm-hmm. You see how he did that or how she did this, how this police officer reacted or how this person reacted. That's wrong. This is how that should have been done. Right? But if we don't instill the simple value of respect in our children, they think that this is right. So they don't have anything to counter, right? They don't have a reference point. So all they see is what the world shows. All they see is all the disrespect. So that becomes the norm because they don't have a point of reference. They don't have a compass. And we should be their compass. When I just look at all these things that are going on in society, we have things like, kids just literally fighting each other like dogs. I saw a video the other day where, these people were literally fighting each other to almost kill each other. You can just see these on Facebook, or you'll see instances where, excuse me, you have instances where a police officer incident, right? We just had one this week in Wisconsin, where the young man was walking away, going into his vehicle. Two cops come behind him, pulling his shirt and shoot him 7 times in the back. Come on, guys, that is a disrespect of just human life. That's why I say it's important to just respect just human life. And the young man could have probably handled it a little better by being a little more respectful to the officer. Let's not, I think it's very important to look at things at both sides of an issue, right? Now, he could have been more respectful towards that authority. So I don't know what kind of teaching his parents gave him in regards to respecting levels of authority, right? But chances are that he may have had some of those issues even at home. Who knows, right? But the point is, even if he is a bit disrespectful regarding authority, again, now we come and look at the authority figure, right? The police officer. you should also respect him as well as a human. Respect his life, respect his rights that he has, right? Yeah, he was supposed to stop when you asked him to stop, but he did it. Okay, but does that give you the right to come behind him, shoot the man 7 times in the back? See, to me, that shows that even the police officers, I don't know what kind of parenting that they had when they were growing up, or who taught them that it was okay to disrespect life like that, to just shoot somebody 7 times point blank. These are all, believe it or not, respect or lack of respect issues. What do you think?
Put in the school context.
Yeah.
So I got a student at school. This didn't happen, y'all. Just example. A student at school, I tell them to stop, run. They may have done something wrong they weren't supposed to do. I say stop and come here. Well, they keep on running. So I'll run out. I'll run after them and I pull them by their shirt and bring them here. And because they ran off when I told them to stop, I have the right to hit them 7 times in the back.
Oh yeah, now you got to pull out that old wood board.
Yeah, I got a paddle. So I have the right to hit them 7 times in the back because
no.
they ran away from me.
Right.
Now, if I had done that, if that were true, there would be an uproar.
Oh yeah.
There would be marches on both sides of the fence.
Mm.
Everybody.
They're fired already.
Oh, fired. Boy, bye.
Yeah.
They're about to be in jail because
Mm-hmm.
that was neglect and that was abuse of a child. However, in the same instance, that's a school situation. But you have somebody who shot somebody 7 times in the back.
Right.
And people making excuses.
Right.
On the news saying that I saw the news or the guys I don't forget what station it was.
The police chief.
Yeah, the police chief said, what he shouldn't have, just the same thing the police chief with the boy that shot the people.
They were out. He was out there.
They were after hours. It was after curfew.
Yeah.
And if they weren't after curfew, this wouldn't have happened. Well, if they wouldn't have been running around in the hallway, then I wouldn't have had to beat them.
Right.
That's not an excuse. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. And these excuses that are constantly being made for behaviors, and then we wonder why as a society we have the issues we have with our children now.
Right. Because
we're not consistent with if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. But it's always this gray area that we are allowed to have and make certain, I don't know, was it consolations?
Well, I mean,
I don't know what it is.
That's why we go back to the Bible.
True.
Right. It says honor your mother and your father because it's right. I mean, there was no other extra information needed. Right. We are to respect each other simply because it's the right thing to do, whatever side you're on. Right. So one thing that I want before we leave this topic of teaching our children to respect each other's to respect each other is that as parents we have to realize, I hear parents say, I'm gonna raise my kid the way I want to raise my kid. Okay, you see what that gets us, right? When everybody's just raising their kid the way they just want to raise them, well, there is a standard that we can raise our kids to. I just mentioned one is the Bible. There's other principles and values that we have to instill in our children when they're young, because when they get old, they have to go and interact with other people. They have to go interact with their siblings, with their family members, with the teacher, with the police officer, with their boss, or with their customers, or whatever. They have to interact with other people. So we cannot as parents just think that we can, I can raise my kid any way I want. Please stop that. We cannot do
but
that.
I keep saying you can, but just understand that's the consequence. There's consequence for it.
Right.
I think that, and then also later on, the Bible also talks about when you raise your children, also it says that it won't depart from them.
Right.
So even though sometimes we raise them a certain way and they stray or do these other things, what you've instilled in them, those core values, will not depart from them. It will not leave them. And I think that the most important, our parent points for this week is to remember that respecting respect is critical in order for us as a society, for us to respect ourselves, respect God, respect each other. In order for our society to thrive, we have to instill in our children to be respectful. If we do that, it won't depart from them. And I think also that we have to also remember that when we are out and about in our day-to-day interactions or having conversations at home, at the dinner table, driving a car, that we're modeling what is going to be multiplied. We're modeling, if we model good behavior, good respectful behavior, even when we're angry, it's going to be multiplied in our children.
That part, even when we're angry. See, because that's what happened with the police officer.
Mm-hmm.
They were angry. Mm-hmm. They felt disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
And so they act out of anger, but they don't have a belt. They have a gun.
Yeah.
So that's what you just hit on right there is very important. Even in the midst of you being angry,
mm-hmm.
being able to respect your child being able to respect you, and just being able to respect others when you're angry. So, hey, I want to encourage us a little bit, because I know parenting is hard. Believe me, I'm a parent of 4, and I know it's hard, but we can do this. It's important. It's not only can we do it, it's our mission to do it. If you have children, that is our mission. It's our goal in life is to set our children up to teach them these values, things that they need to know so that they can be successful. And I know it's challenging, but I also know that we all have it within us to be great parents. And we can change many of the things that are going on in society today with our actions at the table.
Mm-hmm.
The solution for these problems that are going on today starts at home, guys. And people always say that, but it's so true. It starts at home. It starts with us.
That we have to also remember that when we are out and about in our day-to-day interactions or having conversations at home, at the dinner table, driving a car, that we're modeling what is going to be multiplied. We're modeling, if we model good behavior, good respectful behavior, even when we're angry, it's going to be multiplied in our children.
That part, even when we're angry. See, because that's what happened with the police officer.
Mm-hmm.
They were angry. Mm-hmm. They felt disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
And so they act out of anger, but they don't have a belt. They have a gun.
Yeah.
So that's what you just hit on right there is very important. Even in the midst of you being angry,
mm-hmm.
being able to respect your child being able to respect you, and just being able to respect others when you're angry. So, hey, I want to encourage us a little bit, because I know parenting is hard. Believe me, I'm a parent of 4, and I know it's hard, but we can do this. It's important. It's not only can we do it, it's our mission to do it. If you have children, that is our mission. It's our goal in life is to set our children up to teach them these values, things that they need to know so that they can be successful. And I know it's challenging, but I also know that we all have it within us to be great parents. And we can change many of the things that are going on in society today with our actions at the table.
Mm-hmm.
The solution for these problems that are going on today starts at home, guys. And people always say that, but it's so true. It starts at home. It starts with us.
So I want to remind everybody, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And whenever I watch something or see something or read something about parenting, I always try to find a little bit, a nugget that can make me and help us be better parents. So if you heard anything, that little nugget or a little tool to go in your toolbox today, don't forget to share it out with others. Even if you don't have kids, share it with other folk who have kids who may need some help as well. But don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And we'll see you next week with...
Well, in our next session here, we are going to talk about the value of persistence. That is so important, to teach our children to be persistent. Basically, how not to quit, right? Because when things get hard, we just can't quit. So guys, hey, remember this, that parenting is a lot easier when it's done on mission. Oscar and Suni here with Parenting on Mission, and we look forward to talking to you very soon.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.